The Middle East was burning. It was day 6 of the war, and for the first time, the consequences were no longer just falling on the Middle East. They were landing in grocery stores, in gas stations, in the kitchens of ordinary families who had never once thought about the Strait of Hormuz in their entire lives. This was the day the war stopped being something happening far away and became something happening to everyone. In the early hours of the morning, Israeli jets struck oil storage facilities near Tehran. The fuel depots caught fire, and burning oil began pouring into the surrounding streets. Witnesses described rivers of fire flowing through the roads, and above the city, a massive cloud of thick, black, toxic smoke began to rise, so heavy, so dense, that when the rain came, it fell black. Black rain, falling on Tehran. Iranian authorities told residents to stay indoors, wear masks, and conserve food and fuel. A city of millions, one of the oldest cities in the world, being told to hide and ration whatever they had left. The strikes didn't stop there. According to Wikipedia's documented timeline of the war, Israeli jets hit a uranium enrichment center in Natanz and a nuclear weapons research site at Tehran's Malik Ashtar University of Technology, nuclear laboratories. Places the whole world had worried about for years, being taken apart from the air, one by one. By this point, according to U.S. Central Command, the combined American and Israeli force had cumulatively destroyed 19 Iranian ships, 1 submarine, and nearly 2,000 targets in 6 days. And according to human rights monitors, at least 2,400 people had been killed inside Iran, including 310 civilians. These were not soldiers. These were people who had simply been in the wrong place when the bombs fell. Now, the Strait of Hormuz. On day 4, Iran had quietly shut it down without officially saying so. On day 6, it made clear it would enforce that closure with brutal seriousness. According to Wikipedia's war timeline, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard's Navy announced they had blown up 10 commercial vessels that had attempted to sail through the strait, not warned them away, not fired warning shots, blown them up. The message was unmistakable. You try to sail through, we sink you. And the world felt it almost immediately. According to multiple energy reports from that day, Brent crude oil surged past $120 per barrel. QatarEnergy declared force majeure on all gas exports. Gulf countries reported that 80% of their food imports passed through the strait, meaning rice, cooking oil, flour, basic things, were beginning to run short on shelves. And in a move that showed just how far the rules of the normal world were bending, the United States Treasury quietly granted India an emergency waiver to purchase stranded Russian oil just to help stabilize fuel prices. America, which had spent years sanctioning Russian oil, was now allowing it because the energy crisis had become that severe. Inside Iran, the grip of the government was tightening. According to Wikipedia's record of the war and the Iranian protests, Evin Prison, Iran's most notorious political jail, had been giving inmates only limited bread and water since the war began. The internet blackout had now stretched past 240 hours, more than 10 straight days. NetBlocks, a global internet monitoring organization, reported that connectivity inside Iran had dropped to just 4% of normal levels. The second longest internet blackout ever recorded in any country in history. No way to find out what was happening. No way to check on family in another city. No way to tell the world what you were seeing. Just silence and distant explosions. And yet, Iran was still fighting. According to CNN's on-the-ground reporting detail, Iran launched a hybrid attack that night, combining drones and missiles in a single coordinated wave. Journalists described what appeared to be cluster warheads visible in the sky above central Israel. Saudi Arabia intercepted 3 drones east of Riyadh. 3 more ballistic missiles were intercepted, heading toward a military base south of the Saudi capital. And then Iran made an announcement directed not at its enemies, but at Europe. According to the war's documented timeline, Iran declared that any European country that joined the side of the United States and Israel would become a legitimate military target. Europe. countries with their own families and cities, thousands of miles from Tehran, being told, "You are next if you get involved." And Russia. According to reporting confirmed in Wikipedia's timeline, Iranian President Pezeshkian and Russian President Vladimir Putin held a phone call on day 6 and agreed to continue contacts. This followed confirmed reports that Russia was quietly providing Iran with intelligence on the locations and movements of American troops, ships, and aircraft, not firing a single weapon. Not officially in the war, but feeding Iran the information it needed to aim better and hit harder, a shadow war inside the war. Day 6 ended with black rain over Tehran, 10 ships blown up in the Strait of Hormuz, a $120 barrel of oil, grocery shelves running thin in Kuwait and Qatar, Russia whispering into Iran's ear from the shadows, and a warning from Tehran pointed directly at Europe. When a war starts changing the price of bread in someone's kitchen, that is when the whole world finally starts paying attention. Day 7 was coming.